Fun audio, borderline sexist audio, coming up later in the show. Thank you, Tank. But right now, Wolf from Justice Rescue joins us. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How about you?
Good. You've been sending me some pictures of some of these pups, and I'm amazed by what you guys are able to do once you rescue these dogs, and some of them are rescued from just awful situations. The story you were just telling me about one dog. So one dog was just left at home for 2 weeks while a family went on vacation. Is that right?
Yeah, somehow they thought that was okay.
And so this dog ends up looking really rough, and like there was poop issue. I mean, just a bunch of stuff. So with the dog like that, what do you have to do? How do you get involved in that?
Well, we got the report. We went to investigate. We were able to get the dog out of that situation. As you just mentioned, the feces were so grown in its skin that it actually caused an infection, and the dog wasn't able to go to the bathroom. It was so bad.
Yeah.
So we had to fully shave it, and it's on medication now. He's going to recover, but he's in pretty bad shape.
It's amazing what you guys are able to do, and you find out about this. Do you have to go to the house and talk to the people where they? I mean, obviously they were there because they had gotten back. I mean, how do you find? Who gives this report to you about this?
At that point, I really don't know. It came in anonymous, and we actually went to knock on the door. And when we did knock on the door, we were able to see the dog through the window and what a bad shape it was. The house was still torn apart from the dog trying to find food. And we could see that the dog was still barking, still moving around. So in that case, we got to go get a warrant. So we actually were on our way to get a warrant. We got a call that the people had returned home at that time, and we were able to go back and get the dog in prosecution.
What do you say to these people? I mean, they try to avoid giving the dog up or what?
At that point, they really had no explanation. They had just made it believe that it was okay. Like, it was okay not to leave your dog food or water, not to go outside. And the only thing that they wanted to mention was how bad their couch was because the dog tore it apart. That's what their concern was.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Why do people even get animals? Like these type of people just don't get a dog. If you don't want to take care of it, listen, my dog eats better food than I do.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to let my dog not have good stuff. I mean, I know that some people can't buy the high-end, blue or whatever it is. But it's not hard to feed your dog, and if you can't feed the dog, I know there's a lot of cases like this with you, can't afford to keep up with it anymore, at least surrender it to someone who will take care of it. Don't just leave it to die.
Yeah, as you mentioned in multiple conversations, we're very strict on who we adopt to for just that reason. It can't be an impulse adoption or purchase, so to speak. You have to make sure that this dog is going to be taken care of. And in this case, the only thing that I can surmise is that, it was cute, fluffy at the time, and they got the dog. And
then they realize there's actual issues. It's like a baby. A baby sounds good in theory, but then you have to take care of the baby, and you have to change the baby and feed the baby, and the baby costs money. And some people want to be parents until they realize that. And it's similar to a dog is like that on a lesser scale, which is, listen, you have to feed it. Yeah, it has to drink water. It has to be taken care of. You can't just get it and then just let it be on its own. It's not like a cat. Like a cat disappears for 5 days, comes back, and you're like, hey, the cat's fine. There's the cat. Yeah. Dogs aren't like that.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, people just don't get it. And, in this case, the people are going to be prosecuted, and, they're
what is the fullest extent of the prosecution? What could happen?
That, at this point, we're speaking to the district attorney about now. We cited them for cruelty, but there is clauses within the Pennsylvania humane statute that is putting the dog into a position of harm, and we're trying to go with that because that's actually a misdemeanor crime.
Why do you do this? Just why? I mean, I know you do. You're a good person, but a lot of people don't want to do what you do. You know what I'm saying?
And to be honest, I don't either. This is something that I deal with every day. The emotional side, and we don't get to see a lot of good things. We're out, we're dealing with this abuse, and it gets to you. But in our case, if we don't go, nobody is. By the time we get a call, you would think that, well, we'll just call the police. The police doesn't have the training or the resources to be able to deal with these kind of an issue. So it really relies on organizations like us, why we started years ago. But I tell you what, I would gladly have somebody take over this and me not to have to do this, because it's really taxing, tolling, and it's my entire life.
And I get depressed when I just see a picture of a dog that's up for adoption, and I'm like, oh, why doesn't somebody want this dog? You have to see it this dog whenever it's not looking pretty and fluffy and ready for adoption. You have to live the experience and find the money to pay for the stuff, and you have to keep these dogs fed and with treats, and it's not easy. And I tell Jilly, she'll hold up the phone and show me a picture. Oh, look at this little dog. They might euthanize this dog, and I'm like, I don't want to see that because it depresses me. Yeah. But you live that. I mean, you have to deal with it every day.
Yeah, I don't get the choice of being able to shut off Facebook and not see it. I get the call and I just got to go. In the heat, we've rescued many out of the heat this last couple weeks, and some we were a little late, and they had died. And the same thing in the wintertime when it's freezing cold outside. And, we're working 48, 72 hours at one time, and you just get to a point where you just can't move anymore. You just can't go. You can't take that other step. But then that next call comes in that there's a dog outside suffering and possibly dying as you speak.
What do? You got to do it.
You have to go.
You
have to go. You find it from your inside. You just have to go, because if you don't go, that dog's not going to help.
I saw a video or a story out of Louisiana, and they've got all this flooding going on right now, and it's a bad deal. But they've got these people that are calling themselves the Cajun Navy. And it's just a bunch of people on boats going to rescue people, just civilians. And it's an amazing story. And they call themselves the Cajun Navy. And one of the stories was they saw a pit bull that was on top of a house. And the water had gone up so high. And this dog was stranded there for like a day with nothing. And they found this dog and rescued this dog. I mean, it's amazing. There was another story where a woman was drowning in a car. And the woman was in the car with her dog. And a guy jumps into the water, breaks the window, pulls them both out. Yeah. Like the love that people have for their pets, it's amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's a lot of my my wonder in today's day and age. We said it before. We can put people on the moon. We can fly drones. With as many people as out there doing this great work to rescue animals, how do we come together? How do we all come together in one place to where we all fighting for the same thing? One or two people cry and scream, it gets heard, but not as many as millions.
Sure.
And that's kind of what our effort and goal is to get all of the rescuers, all of the animal lovers united to be able to get together and say that this is not okay. It's not okay for the municipalities. It's not okay for the communities. It's not okay for the cities. We put people in positions that are supposed to be making the community better for both humans and animals. And we've talked many times that there's so many different gateways to animal abuse, child abuse, domestic violence, sexual crimes. There's so many different things that can be addressed if we just start with the animal side of it and saying that that's not okay. We need to stand up and say it's not okay, and we need to stick together to do it.
Sure. Big events coming up, I guess, next weekend, right? The 27th over at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, we're very excited. This is the first time that we're going to have an event like this in Philadelphia, and this is part of the drive to get everybody together on the same page. It's August 27th. You remember Remy? That's how you and I met, Josh. Yep. He's going to be there that day. That Remy was used as a dog fighting dog many times over, and we'd like y'all to come out and meet Remy that day because he's just the biggest baby in the world. The rain date for that is August 28th, which is the next day. We have all kinds of great things out there for the community. We have Marshall from Paw Patrol, Hello Kitty, Phillies Fanatic. We have the Gas Guzzlers Car Club, over 200 hot rod muscle cars for you to come down and see.
Sure.
Some of the things that is happening is we have we have dog pools, so bring your dog out. And this event's free. I want to say that. In Philadelphia, it's at the Citizens Bank Park. So August 27th, come on out, bring your dog, bring your kids. We have a lot of activities. I'd like to thank Brightview for providing the water for this event, for the dog cooling pools. A big sponsor was Pet Plus Natural and VCA Animal Hospital. And, of course, we'd like to thank the Philadelphia Local 22 Firefighters Union for their involvement as well. But, we have anti-bullying for children books there. It's going to be a great time, and we want to get everybody from Philadelphia. Everybody's listening. It's free. Come on out, meet us, meet Remy, and have a great day.
Sounds good, man. Obviously, go to the Facebook page if you want to see the adoptable dogs. The website is Justice-Rescue. You can also help out at the Amazon wish list and get all the stuff that the dogs need there as well. Wolf, great talking with you, buddy. We'll do it again next week.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
Sounds good. Go see them over at Justice Rescue and help save one of these dogs' lives. We'll be back after this.
If you run a business,